Hi there. A few days ago I came down here to check on Ophelia. It's gotten wintry, quite cold, wet and windy. So I thought I'd better check on her. And turned out that there was no shore power. Not exactly great because her pumps are dependent on shore power. So if water starts coming in, well, we could have a problem. The entire battery thing has been disabled here. Anyways, it turned out that this thing here, the shore power plug, contrary to what I thought, it wasn't, well, waterproof, it definitely wouldn't be, but rainproof. So this plug, this right here, was completely full of water. So, of course, everything short-circuited and, well, it blew the security relays down here on the harbor. So there was no shore power. I've taken this home, disassembled it, dried it and put it back together, and well, I'm going to plug her back in now. I will, however, have to do something about the situation down here. I thought, let me get you a bit closer. Yeah, I thought this situation here would be, well, fairly waterproof. It's a long sleeve here and it plugs in like this, and I thought that it would keep water out. It's supposed to be used outside, so well, yeah, coulda, shoulda, woulda. It's not waterproof, so I'll need to do something about it. And this teaches me an important lesson. When I'm going to rebuild the entire deck house structure, I'll need to find some way to recess the shore power connection so that it's not exposed to rain. I'm going to build a quick and dirty solution here to make sure this doesn't happen again, but when I make the major, well, makeover, I'll need to do something about shore power. I'm thinking a recessed plug on either side of the house, so both starboard and port side can be supplied with shore power without the risk of getting water into the plug. For now though, I'm just going to power her up, check that the pump is working, get her drained out completely. It's not a lot of water, but there's as usual some water in the swamp under the engine. I'll need to get that out. So yeah, and then I need to go home and start building. Need to grab some measurements first, I think. Anyways, on with it. So when I said it was getting cold, I wasn't kidding. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but this is a solid surface. The bucket isn't frozen all the way to the bottom, but still, yeah, it's frozen. So it is indeed getting cold. Now, with shore power restored and the swamp drained, it's time to make sure that the problem down there doesn't happen again. So back to the workshop. So with the majority of the clutter out of the way, well, only in the areas where I need to go and work really, but anyways, and the temperature back above freezing. Yeah, well, it's still cold in here. Anyways, I guess it's time to get on with it. So this is one of the pieces I removed from Ophelia, and I thought this was probably not going to see any use, so I actually threw it in the garage and intended to throw it out because it was too small to do anything useful with it. But, well, seems that it might come in useful this time around anyways. What I'm thinking about doing is, well, let's see, do some size. Well, maybe I should grab a measurement here because it doesn't help much if it's not big enough. I need a height of around 20. Yeah, there's plenty of that. Yeah, it just hits 20 here where it's shortest. And I'll have to get rid of this piece up here. Anyways, what I'm thinking is 2 pieces like this. I know that the depth I need is, well, I'd better check because assumption is the mother of all, and well, you know how that works. Anyways, I need at least 10 centimeters on the inside. And if I need sides like this, well, I could put them on the outside, so I just do the depth that I need. That means 10 centimeters here. And no, I don't know what 10 centimeters is in freedom units. We're working in metric here. Anyways, go. And that needs to be extended to 20, because that's the height I need. Oh, better double check. 10 and 10. Well, you know, this piece of cheap Chinese aluminium is actually square. Now, yeah, better extend this line here. It's probably the easier way. Just to go like that. And what I say, needed 20, but maybe I should add a couple of centimeters at the top or the bottom, doesn't really matter, so that I could get an angle, so I could have kind of like a roof to let the water run off. So if I need 20 centimeters and get that here, that leaves, well, 2 centimeters height difference here. That should be, well, not plenty, but okay. I need to hack 2 of those out, and they need to be quite similar. That'll be the sides of the housing for the electrical plug, and just front and the top, and then let it be open at the bottom because, well, the cord is going to hang out there. So I need to get rid of this, and yeah, I got a piece here. So some of you might be wondering, have been wondering, what's up with the infrequent updates on this project. Well, as I said a few times, it's not that I lack the resources. Oh, you might not be able to hear what I'm saying. The resources needed to complete the Ophelia project, well, for the hull at least, but the resources for daily life is quite a bit of a different matter. Work hasn't worked out as I expected and hoped on this island, so yeah. It's not that I'm going bankrupt or anything, it's just that I've been very, very stressed. Not about this project. That's a minor thing. I can just leave it when I don't feel like working on it. But getting what I need to keep my family going, well, that's not so much something I can just leave. So I haven't really had the extra energy to get anything done. what I need to do isn't really that complicated anything. I know more or less what I need to do to get on with the project, but I need to find both the time and the energy to do it. Oh, by the way, I'm not going anywhere near the lines right now. I'm just hacking into approximate size, and then I'll use the bandsaw over here to get it to final size. And just going to make 2 rough pieces, I think. I need to get rid of this in some way. It seems to be screwed on. Yeah. Probably screwed and glued like everything else is on that boat. Or was. I've gotten rid of most of it, which makes sense, but it's annoying as hell when you need to take it apart. Anyways, it's not that I don't want to work on Ophelia, but you do need to have both the time and the energy. And real life is, well, I think most of us is feeling it at the moment, so it's not just me. Anyway, on with this part. Well, to expand a bit about the money thing. Yeah, I just messed around here, by the way, trying to get that screw out, and it's not budging as I thought. Screwed and glued. So I'm going to hack it off here and then hack off another piece where there are no screws, and then I might be able to take this apart. Anyways, to expand about the money thing, because it does seem odd to have the money and yet not have the money. I do have the money. As you know, it was an inheritance, and I've already spent quite a bit of it getting Ophelia here and making sure she didn't sink and all that. Wasn't exactly cheap, and well, living while I did that. And I could see how quickly the money disappeared, not because of the boat, but because of, well, everything else. And I thought, I'm not gonna spend the money I got more or less in exchange from my dad. I'm not gonna spend that on just living. That seems wrong. If we were talking about surviving, that would be a whole different matter. That would be okay, but it's not. It's just living, and I want to live, but I don't want to live like that. So yeah, I couldn't spend the money just like I wanted to. And on the other hand, I really didn't want to run the risk of everything going sideways and having no money. So I didn't feel like I could spend the money for the boat on the boat because, well, I might just end up needing it for something else, like surviving. And, well, I guess you can kind of see the bind. Why? Look. No, I'm not. I thought I might be sawing into the bench, but I'm not. It's just because it's extended too far out. That was one. So the project will move on slowly while I'm trying to deal with the stress of, well, just, that's not that things are bad. They do work out, but it doesn't always feel like it. And that is the significant source of stress. I guess you've all been there at some point. I haven't been there before. There's been other stuff, but it's never been like this. So, yeah. Which has given me increased blood pressure. It was clearly, the doctor was quite sure it was about stress, so not really illness, but still annoying as hell. So I need to find a way to both slow down and not stress while speeding up and making some money and still having the excess energy to get this project going. Which, as you might have figured out by now, isn't exactly an easy thing. Now, do I just draw the piece I need? Yeah, no. I was thinking I might leave this piece here with the screw and then draw what I needed here. But I would need to do a cut this way at some point. And that would make me cut straight through the screw. Potentially, it might not be very large. Might stop here, but yeah, no. Don't want to mess up a saw blade. On neither the bandsaw nor the hand saw nor the, well, any other kind of saw. So I'll have to do another cut here. And, well, with a bit of luck, I won't have to do any more than that. Yeah, a bit of luck. That usually doesn't work out. Oh, that sounds depressing. I'm not depressed. Annoyed with the world sometimes. And really wanting stuff to move and not getting anywhere, but not depressed. So, now I need to make two more or less exactly the same pieces. More or less exactly. Oh, I hope you get what I'm going at here. And that's not easy, because if the pieces aren't the same, well, then it's gonna look wonky as, well, a lot of nasty words. And we don't want it to look wonky. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to use some, what do we call it? Well, glue at any rate. That will snap if I bash it again with a hammer at a later point. So I won't be using ordinary wood glue, that's quite resistant. Well, this brand is Loctite, and this stuff turns to plastic when it absorbs moisture from the air. So yeah, I guess you all know this. So I'm thinking gluing these two pieces together like this, and then cut it out, and then hopefully bash them apart again with a hammer at a later point. That's probably going to go poorly, but in theory it should work. And as per usual, it doesn't need to be pretty afterwards. Just needs to work. Well, pressure's probably not needed anyway. These should be attached. Oh, they aren't. Right now, why not? There's glue in both. It hasn't set. Might be too cold. So, I guess I'll put it in front of the heater and see if that helps, because there's definitely connection between these two pieces. There we go. Turns out the heat did the trick. These are now joined, but I'm pretty sure that a good bash with a hammer will separate them again. So let's cut them to shape. We do know these two lines out here, and well, if I'm not entirely mistaken, and it doesn't matter too much if I am, then this is what I can cut off for, for the angle for the roof part here. So I'll have to mark that up, which requires me to find my pencil once again. Well, that took all of, 15 seconds. Turns out that I placed it just behind me and to the left, somewhere I probably never look. So why I did that, I don't know. For some reason I never look behind me when I'm looking for stuff. Anyways, that should be it. And then some kind of cut at the bottom. It should probably be angled a bit as well to allow water to run away from everything. that should make these two pieces exactly the same. Now the question remains, can we get them apart? And the answer to that was yeah, easily. So, oh well, need to turn them the right way around. Now front and the top is all that's needed. That should be more or less square now, and it is indeed more or less, but close enough, I guess. So, time to put it together. So, what I was told when I was younger was if you need to nail something together, especially something thin, then you should actually blunt the nails a bit first, otherwise they're going to split the wood, and well, we really don't want that, do we? Now, where to put a nail? Well, I'm going to hammer it into something like this, so I should be able to use this as a guide. I want to get as close to the middle of the piece on the other side as I possibly can. So that are 3 sides and a roof and something on the back to keep it a bit off so that we don't have everything colliding. That probably doesn't make sense right now, but it will when I mount it. And then something to keep everything in place. A piece of flexible plastic, and yet firm enough, I hope, to keep everything in place when I mount it on the boat. So we're back on the boat, and well, as you can see, the day is almost gone, and seems to be a very, very high tide. We're floating quite high, but anyways, that's not why we're here. We're here because of this little thing here. Let's see. Now I guess we'll see if today's work paid off. There we go. That should, coulda, shoulda, woulda, keep the water off the plug, avoiding any more tripping of the safety relay. So yeah, and it's okay on there. It's not going to be hit by anything, not going to be any waves in here, so that should be good. Finally got something done on Ophelia. Hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you another time.